So there's this so-called Torah movement that is confused about which commandments that they're supposed to keep. And Yeshua plainly puts this, and you even see this prophesied about, right? This isn't just a New Testament thing. This is also in the Old Testament. You see this in Deuteronomy 18, where it says that this capital P prophet is going to give them everything that they desired at Horeb. Okay, now the question they ask themselves is, what did they desire at Horeb? They desire the Ten Commandments, right? If you read what they agreed upon in Horeb, right? And is Exodus 19, that was the Ten Commandments. But later, because they transgressed, the sacrificial law was added, right? And then you read Galatians 3:19, and it makes so much sense. Let's start with the law, because it was added for transgression, right? The sacrificial law was added because they transgressed the Holy Covenant, the Ten Commandments, right? Because they made the molten calf, and now God gave this punishment, the law of sin and death, right? Because if they break the Ten Commandments, if they sin, then now death is required. But then Yeshua took that law, sin, and death out of the way. So you can't just say, oh, keep all the commandments, because Yeshua actually did away with something. That's why he said on that stake, it is finished, quoting Deuteronomy verses 31, verse 24 to 25, where Moses was writing all the words of the book of the law, and he placed it on the side of the ark, right? This is the sacrificial law. He placed it on the side of the ark, and he said that it's going to be in place until it is finished. And then Yeshua said, it is finished. And so now you go over to Matthew 19, when he specifically asked, which commands should I keep? Right? Well, somebody else asked him. Because at that time, right, the whole sacrificial law was still in place, right? Some people might say 613 some laws. So now people are like, okay, if you're the Messiah, like which law should we keep now? So Matthew 19, starting from verse 16. And behold, one came and said unto him, Good master, what good thing shall I do that I may have eternal life? And he said unto him, Why callest thou me good? There is none good but one, that is God. But if thou wilt enter into life, keep the commandments. Okay? He saith unto him, Which? Right, which commandments should I keep? Right, should I keep the whole sacrificial law, or is it just like these commandments, or is it just these commandments? You're going to see what Yeshua tells him. And I'll just tell you right now, right, spoiler alert, it's the Ten Commandments, right? And then he adds this thing right at the end saying, love your neighbor as yourself. Why does he add that? Well, it's the replacement of sacrificial law, right? Instead of sacrificing animals, now you rebuke people, right? That's how you love your neighbor as yourself. You learn that in Leviticus 19, verses 15 through 18. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him, right? Before, they would basically suffer sin upon them or whatever, and then they kill an animal. But now you don't suffer sin upon them, and you rebuke them. Thou shalt not bear a grudge against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I'm Jehovah. So, Yeshua said, thou shalt do no murder, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal. Right? All these are about the Ten Commandments. Right? If it was about the whole sacrificial law, then he would have pointed out, don't mix wool with linen. Don't make sure wear tassels. Like, he would have pointed out all these other things, like, so that you would know, hey, it's not just the Ten Commandments, but it's everything. But when you look at it here, it's like he wasn't pointing out anything but the Ten Commandments. It was just the Ten Commandments. Like, that, it's so crazy because, like, you can see it so plainly. Like, if he was telling you to do anything else but the Ten Commandments, he would have told you here. But he didn't, right? He only pointed out things from the Ten Commandments. And that was the point. There's nothing else that you should be keeping. Or the whole world was already supposed to be eating clean back in the day with Noah. But now at this time, it's like all you gotta do, right? Plus the eating clean, because it's the food. The food is only the clean animals. You just got to keep the Ten Commandments. It's really simple, right? Not putting any burdens upon the people. So, thou shalt not bear false witness. Honor thy father and thy mother. And thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. Right? So these are the things that you got to do. It's pretty simple.